I needed degrees to get the box open. Oh, hey, sorry, didn't see y'all standing there. My bad. My mystery. Remember we were talking about the Corvette, and I said I was going to do a little something that I wasn't going to tell y'all what it was. Some of you may have guessed. You know, I mean, how much is there on the back of a car that you can do, you know, that's going to surprise anybody? But for those of you who may not have guessed, this is it. And you know, I was really thinking I like to make stuff that's different. That's kind of my game. Is I want to build a car that, you know, it's a fairly common car, right? But I want to make it different. Now, I could have taken a '62 Dodge Dart, just different, period. Not much you can do to that to make it look normal. They're just an oddball looking car. But a C4 Corvette, pretty common, right? I mean, they're everywhere. They're cheap. Yeah, they're not, as far as Corvettes go, they're probably the cheapest. And so I put the stripes on it, as you all watched. And, you know, I thought that added quite a bigger element of cool. Still working on a possible nitrous setup for it, too, to make it extra, extra cool. Put the big fat tires, adds a little more cool, but they came with pretty fat ones anyway. Just didn't like them solid looking wheels, but that's just my deal. So this is my solution, shall we say. Did anybody out there not know what's in this box? Just, you know, raise the old hand. You can't be wrong, right? Well, you can be, but I mean, nobody's going to criticize you. At least I won't. Because, you know, you're guessing, right? Nobody really knows what's in this box. So I'm going to pull it out and see if you can guess. And as soon as you think you know what it is, raise your hand. And I promise you, I will completely ignore it. Because, really? I can't see it. Truth of the matter is, you know. But, you know, see who can guess first what's in the box. Some of you may have already got it. Don't tell anybody else yet, okay? Let's just kind of surprise you. Hint number one. Comes with hardware. Right? Anybody guess? It's like Christmas, right? It's almost Christmas, like Turkey Day coming up. Thanksgiving, we have to give thanks to God for the fact that we're not like sitting outside eating with the Indians anymore, right? I'm cool with eating with the Indians, but you know, inside, especially on a stormy day like today. But hardware. Okay. I guess it's time to pull it out. You ready? Just feels like nothing here. Can you guess? Anybody? No? Maybe? Still? It's a good box for shipping stuff. You know, 'cause nothing in a car is square. Have you ever noticed that? I ship stuff out all the time. You know, so I sell stuff. That's how I support my hobby. But, you know, it's a good box. That's really why I bought it. I wanted the box. Nope, just kidding. So, but it's a good one. Oh, it came from, oh, here we go. You know, I can't help it. I try to find bargains. But made in China. I think that's like in Mexico somewhere, right? Chino. Chino would be girl, right? Chino would be boy. I think, if I'm not mistaken, y'all that speak Spanish, let me know. But China, I think, is a girl, right? So a girl made this. I'm okay with that. You know, I like women. All right. I probably need to get a better angle here because y'all can't see nothing. All you can see is me. I can hold it up, but I can't unwrap it that way. Anybody know yet? Nope, not yet. Okay. Just hang tight. I'm going to adjust the camera a little. See it better? Oh, I figured it unwrapped, but it doesn't. It kind of. You may have noticed it's kind of light, right? Kind of hollow. And I've already done a video on the one on the BMW because it's basically falling apart. Yep. It was not real expensive. I think I paid $79, and I think it was free shipping. So yeah, the whole made in China thing, you know, I guess that's not just because it was made by a girl, you know, but it didn't help, okay? But because they're hollow, it's not that the wing, because it flexes, you know. The wing can handle it, but because it's got the little, you know, threaded inserts in here and stuff, and that's what everything hooks to. But what happens is because it's so hollow, this vibrates. Want to see that again? Okay. And it flexes. So eventually it starts to crack in these areas. So, if you watch the video on how I reinforce this for the Beamer, we're going to do that on this one. But I discovered the hard way. So if you watch that video, which is going to change the product a little bit, I used flexible bumper repair because that holds up really good on flexible bumpers. But this thing flexes so much. See that again? Wait. Now, some of you old timers might remember this. Remember Zoom? Yeah, it does that. So anyhow, we're going to reinforce this one before we put it on. That just makes sense, right? So I've come up with a couple of ideas. It's hollow. So I'm going to, and these bolt on the end. And it only really flexes from like here. Over here, this doesn't crack, just over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a couple of holes in the end. And I'm going to put some of this stuff. Silly foam! Right? Great stuff, whatever you want to call it. And this stuff actually works better when it's wet. Don't get it. I don't understand that. I think there's a couple other things too. You get them wet and it makes it better. Weird. But I only need a hole that big, right? Because I got to get the straw in there. And I am going to fill this thing with foam. That will hopefully stiffen it up a little. And I probably should have got these prepared. I made some templates when I made the one for the BMW, which is over there. And so we're going to go ahead and use those templates again because it's exact, and I mean exact same wing. Why? Because it was cheap and it's cool, right? And I know this is hard to believe, but the BMW and the Corvette are almost exactly the same width. They take the exact same size wing. The Beamer looks smaller. The cockpit's way smaller, but it's got them big fat fenders sticking out. And they're fatter than you think. I mean, I've got 13 inches of rubber under that thing. Is it 13? Wait a minute, I don't want to confuse it with the Corvette. Yeah, the Corvette was 12, I'm sorry. It's 11. 11 inches of rubber underneath that car. Sorry, brain fried a little bit. It's the Corvette that's got like 12 and a half, close to 13 inches under it. But the Beamer has almost the same amount, like an inch less. So they're fat fender. And I actually could have fit the same tires that are on the Vette on that BMW. When I set my offset, I still had about an inch on the inside that I could have used. Just miscalculated. Whole body's nerfed. But, alright. So this is what we're going to do. Let me find those templates. I'll show them to you. And I'm also going to pull the one off of the Beamer. When I start filling things up, I'm going to pull the one off the Beamer and do the same thing. Because once I open that product, I'm not sure it'll last. You know, it's one of those double epoxy gun things. And I'm afraid that once I use it, the stuff ain't cheap. It's like 80 bucks for small tubes. So once I open it, I'm going to go ahead and do the BMW at the same time and repair it again. I'm going to use a stronger product. This stuff is actually body panel adhesive for gluing all these plastic cars together. that they make nowadays. And so I figure if it can hold, a plastic car together, it should be able to hold this plastic wing, even at 100 plus miles an hour. Not that I drive that fast ever. Probably need to not lie. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So hang tight. We're gonna get I think it's in my toolbox. So just bear with me for a minute. Slide out of here. How many of y'all love bubble wrap? You just sit here for hours. Popping this stuff, right? But I don't think y'all want to, spend hours watching me pop, bubble pack. But how about now? Anybody guessing? Nope. No, it's the back of the car. It's not a front spoiler. Valence! Would that make the Corvette cooler if I had a lower valence? Maybe. But nope, wrong again. Here it comes. Drum roll. Ta-da! Okay. It doesn't look like much yet. Okay, there's more to it. Alright, so we gotta see what's in the old hardware box here. Which way is up? Here? Not really. Oh, whoa. We got more stuff that's in the bubble pack. Doesn't need a knife. Ooh, that was kind of slick, right? Right. Does that make me look any cooler? Yeah, no, probably not. The old dad bod kind of kills it, right? Alright. I'm a professional with a knife, can you tell? Alright. Maybe these will help you give a better visual. And then I gotta explain myself. The whole made in China thing, yep. I've got one of these on the old BMW. And it's not holding up very well. If I drove 35 miles an hour all the time, I'd probably be okay. But anyway, kind of goes like that, So really, okay. So y'all know what it is now, probably, right? What it boils down to, folks, is if you're trying to think of a way to make a car cool, you gotta just wing it. I mean, that's just doing it. You just get her done, wing it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wing this old girl. Now, this is the sticky wicket, and I'll explain it. Located my templates. Okay, nope, not really. I actually took the wing off the BMW because I had to repair them anyway, and popped these off. Wasn't all that difficult, and so I'm going to go ahead and use these for my templates because the actual part's probably better than a template. This is a repair panel for a 66 or 7 Fairlane. So for you Ford guys, I'm sorry. It's about to become a Chevrolet part. I had a choice. I had a part of a rear quarter for a Roadrunner, but the back side of it was rusty, which I wouldn't have a problem with that if I had time to rust treat it, but I don't. I would like to get this done today. So, that being the case, we got these, and I'll show you what we're going to do with them here in a minute, but I'm going to set them here, and just kind of, we can do it this way, because it doesn't really matter, you can flip them over. Curve, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. They have a little curve to them, because so does the wing, and so does this panel. So try to use as little as possible, because I may want to use this panel for something someday. Who knows when I may end up having to work on a Fairlane again. Alright, just gonna trace them out. The important part is the holes. And I may actually, once I get these cut out, I may actually clamp the holes, clamp the two pieces of metal together and drill the holes right through the originals. That way I know they're where I want them. Alright, now we can remove one of these. That way I can get the line down the middle here. Ta-da! Okay, that's the only benefit to having more than one car with the same style wing. This, I guess, is the benefit. Well, why is that hole so not clear? Like I said, I'm probably just gonna use the other ones as a template anyway, since I gotta. Now we're just gonna have to cut this out. Weapon of choice: suicide wheel. Heard me say this with body work, and it's the same. This is still body work, I guess. You need to give the material something to bite. This is really smooth. You want to give the material something to bite on. So we're just going to scuff it up with, grinding wood. Nice and scuffed up. Very, very rough. Excellent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay the template. This is the one off the BMW. I'm going to just lay it over the top of this one. Do my best to line up those little holes that I had there. And I'm just going to put a vice grip right in the middle of the mess. Probably don't need to put any more than that. So we just do them both at the same time. There we go. And there we go. So now all we got to do is get the drill. Take my step drill, drill it until my drill touches the edges of that, and voila. My 99-cent drill, put it like so. Try to center it as best I can. because these are going on there, you don't really have to be precise. And these holes, I'm making them big enough so that I can have a little room to wiggle. Now we just do the next one. What I like to do after that's done, you'll see how these are kind of, got, I don't know what you call it, stuff. They're sticking out in the back. I like to just throw it in from the other side. Kind of get rid of that. You can also get a bigger drill and just go through it with a bigger drill, and that'll sometimes get rid of that little overhang for you too. Get this one quite good enough. There we go. Alright, made that hole a little big. We should be fine, and there we go. That's what we're looking for. Like I said, I'm going to take my drill, and we want to fill this wing up with foam. Remember I told you that earlier? So we're going to take this, we're going to just drill a hole right in the middle here. Trigger fell off, but that's, it's 99 cents I paid for this drill. Oh, probably 10 years ago now, I'll bet you. Probably close to that. So, it's entitled to have a few quirks. Let's see if that hole is big enough to put my straw in. Oh, it surely is. So let's flip this over. And we gotta, put the trigger back in here. But I can't complain. I had it glued in, 2, 3, 12 times, and it just falls back off eventually, so I just don't even bother. But let's see. Let's go ahead and put this hole back in here. Let's say that ought to do it. Make sure I can get straw in. Ooh, throwing things. Straw in there. Oh yeah. Now we're just gonna fill her with foam. Gotta shake this stuff up real good. And do I leave it vertical? Because then it's all gonna go all the way down. Or do I just I think it might be best if I lay it down. Because I don't want it to all end up in the middle and none of it on the edges, So I only bought 2 cans per spoiler. I think that should be enough because it's pretty narrow. But if I spray it from here, it's going to go to that side. So I think what we'll do is maybe do like one of these. What do you think of that idea? I think I like it. Alright, and then we'll just spray her in here. Can y'all see me? Yeah, I reckon you can. Just pull the trigger. Woo! You can hear that stuff going in. I'm just going to put the whole can. And then I'm going to get to the other side, I'm going to put in another whole can. It's starting to ooze out of the bolt holes here, which I can't have that, so I think what I'm going to have to do, what's it coming out of here? There's a hole right there. That's weird. I'm going to have to put the bolts in the holes because otherwise this stuff's going to block it. So there's problem number one. So let's put them in. What a fiasco. I have this stuff everywhere. It is stuck to my bench and stuck to my hands, and I had to plug the holes and it's still oozing. Whoop, can't do that. Oh shoot. I've actually got a, man, what a mess. I'm actually trying to find some way. I've got it everywhere. The good thing about this stuff is it cleans up with acetone. But I don't have any. So here we go. I do have some on order. I did have to wait till this dried so I could touch stuff, and I can't help but pick at it, you know. But I do have some coming so I can actually get this off my hands. But I was hoping to finish that wing on the other side, but I gotta wait a little bit because it hasn't quite cured yet. I don't know whether or not to just let that out and let it ooze. It should have worked its way down. And well anyway. I'm gonna try to find something that I can screw into that hole while this stuff's curing, you know what I mean? So let me do that. I'm gonna put all the screws in, and I'm going to try to get the other side done without this side all oozing out the end. Wow. Not what I expected, but just make sure you got acetone on hand if you do this sort of thing. But this stuff is cool. It's great. It will clean up with the acetone once it gets some. Right? All right. Let me. After that absolute fiasco of just a mess, an unbelievable mess. I mean, look at that. You know, hindsight's 20/20. You learn. So this time I am going to do it vertically, so I don't care because that's full now anyway down there. I don't care if it all falls to the other end. That's fine. And then I've got a bolt, little screw, whatever you want to call it, that'll fit in that hole, and then I'm just going to tape it in place, and that should keep all of this from coming out. I hope. So, and I don't know if this stuff will cure without air, so I don't, you know, not really sure if I can't stop it. If I stop it, will it cure? I don't know. So anyway, we're gonna try. I'm just gonna squirt her in that way. You know, I don't know if there's something blocking it in here. I don't really know. I don't know what's going on inside of this thing, but I'm going to put her in as far as I get it to go. And here we go. It's trying to come out. It's trying to ooze past the straw. I don't know where it's going. My thumb's getting tired though. Trying my best not to let it ooze out. Cleanup is going to be fun. Acetone melts this stuff. You wouldn't believe how acetone melts this stuff, so shouldn't be too bad. Starting to slow down a little now. I'm going to give it a quick wipe. I should have had a piece of tape ready. You know. I think she's empty. So what I'm going to do is going to kind of try to hold it with my elbow. Think that's good? wanting to come out. So what I'm going to do is give it a quick wipe, and I'm going to, stick that in the hole. Man, this stuff's crazy. Maybe that's why they call it crazy foam. So now I'm going to try to get me a piece of tape. Get it started. Holy Moses and Aaron. And there we go. Sticking to me everywhere. Now that one, sometimes it helps if you got a plan. So now, it's considerably heavier now, and it's still oozing out the bottom. It got past the tape. Ay ay ay. So let me see if I can't. Well, it dried past the tape, so I don't think it's oozing anymore. But I'm going to put a little more tape just to be safe. But I think we've got it now. But yeah, I made a serious mess. But once it dries, this stuff's, it comes up. Tell me I missed it somehow. But this end just doesn't want to cooperate at all. So I'm going to have to put more tape because it's oozing out past the bolt I put in on that one. You live, you learn. There we go. Put the tape too, that way can't get past. Now we just gotta let it dry. This side is doing fantabulous. Is that a word? Fantabulous? No, this side's doing great. Probably because I put it in vertically and I clogged that up right away. This one was a whole other situation, but I think we'll get her cleaned up. So just hang tight, and as soon as my acetone gets here, we'll get to that part. I thought I would, take a minute and show you the volcano that has happened. I showed you a little bit as it was happening, but this is the aftermath. This is where this had been dripping out the end. Then we come over to this side, and there's some more. Looks like somebody pooped in my shop, and there is just styrofoam everywhere. I had it sitting over here for a little while. You can see some more. And I had it over here for a little while. And there's some more. It just literally puked foam everywhere. So my guess is 2 cans per, I did 2 at the same time, so 2 cans per spoiler, probably a little excessive. Just saying. For the glory of the story, I am going to tell you that it's a good thing I had 2 of these and that I did the other one first. If you're going to buy a cheap wing, be prepared. For this fix, it works. Don't get me wrong. These things are nice and firm now. But, it's a mess. I mean, look at my hands. And that don't come off. That's stuck there. I went to church this morning with with my hands looking like that. It just won't come off. Evidently, back in the day, that silly foam used to come off with acetone. Well, it doesn't anymore. Yeah, so, and I've got, the spoilers are scarred up a little bit from it too. Evidently the acids in it did me a little bad on that. So I'm going to have to do a little sanding and painting. But anyway, this is, I learned from the first one, if you look at the plate, I put a curve in it. Okay, the curve is opposite of the actual spoiler, because what I want it to do is I want it to push down, and I gotta fix that right there. That's not gonna be good. That little doodah right there. Hang on 1 second while I fix this. Where'd it go? Lost it. There it is. Fixed. All right. Yeah, the other one, I guess I had it bent a little bit the wrong way, and when I put it on, I had a couple of edges up, so I had to, vice grip the heck out of it. So this one, we're going to learn by my mistakes, and you're going to hopefully learn by my mistakes. But I am making a $79 wing into a nice piece that, you probably pay $200 or $300 for. So it's all up to you. $4 can of silly foam and a little bit of a mess. And you could avoid some of that mess not using quite as much as I did. I did it a little overkill. I'm thinking 1 can, maybe 1.5 probably would have been enough. Maybe half a can on each side, because you really don't need it in here. But, hindsight's 20/20, it's done. And as you can tell over in this corner, she's still bubbling a little bit. But we're going to get this part done. And I'm going to show you how to prep it. I've got these prepped. You saw me scuff those up. And so that's all of that. And I'm still going to have to paint them on the other side. Hopefully when I pull these screws out, I'm not going to get a volcano. But what I'm doing is, well, where'd it go? Over here. I've got 80 grit sandpaper. All right. Take the 80 grit sorry that in English. 80 grit sandpaper. Fold it. All right, and we're going to scuff up the areas where we're going to put this. So I can actually take this if I want to, kind of set it in place, outline it if I want to. And I can't see diddly over here. Don't ask me why, but I can't see the screw holes. So there we go. So we're just going to give a quick, trace it out so I know where to scuff. I don't really want to scuff more than I have to. Uh-oh. I think I got these mixed up. And that's why we test fit, folks. Because this one's kind of up high here. Let's see if this one fits over here better. They're off a little bit. So there's a left and a right. That's how you put it. Nope. I guess that's the one. That'll be alright, I think. Alright. So, better to check twice and cut once, or glue once in this case. Oh yeah, that's following the right line. Okay. It looked a little off when I first put it in there, but I guess we're okay. So I'm just going to outline that. Put these back in the position they're going to be in. That way when I start epoxying, I'm good. Now, just before I start prepping this, just going to show you, this is a 2-part epoxy. It's a panel bond, it's called. 3M makes it. I don't know, other people might, but it's panel bonding adhesive. That's what I'm using. I tried the other stuff. If you watch the video of me fixing the one for the BMW earlier, in another video, you'll find that I used a flexible bumper material, and it didn't hold. It eventually, because this was so flexible, it'd probably be okay now because this is solid now as opposed to being hollow and vibrating like crazy, but it let go. This stuff, I believe, would eventually break the plastic before it ever let go. This stuff's got, I think, like 80,000 pounds of grip, so it's not coming out, let's put it that way. So far, no volcanoes. In fact, it looks like maybe these are sheltered somehow because I don't see any of the foam behind the screws. So they may be going all the way through to the other side so that no foam could get in it. But yeah, they're clean as a whistle, so that's good. And now take the screws out because they get in the way of sanding. And then I just got my little Tracy here, and Tracy? Whatever. Take my 80 grit, and we're just going to scuff it up. And this just gives the adhesive something to to bite into. You know, I'm always talking about giving stuff to bite. Same with the paint on that Corvette. We had to have, you know, something for the paint to bite into. And that gel coat on that car was so horrible that it just, even scuffing it up, the gel coat would come loose. And so would your paint. So far, so good on that car. Bubbles aren't coming back. Like I said, when it got hot outside, it started to do that. And so I put that heat stuff on there. Alright, there we go. Now we'll do the other side, and we'll be ready to bond. Alright, this gun makes it pretty easy to put this stuff on. Now, the gun, I think, was like 30 or 40 bucks. I can't remember now. It's not super expensive. But I shopped around. I think I got this one either Harbor Freight or online. I can't remember where I bought it, but it was, you can buy, oh, maybe through Summit Racing, I think. It wasn't expensive. You can buy expensive ones, but if you're like me and you don't use it a whole lot, no point in that. So I'm just making sure I get the edges real good. This one I don't really care if it oozes out the corners. It's always, you can always sand it. So that's kind of where I'm at. Just want to make sure I get even. When you squish it in there, she's gonna squish, shall we say. And I'm pretty amazed because this tube I actually bought quite some time ago, probably over a year ago, and it has been outside in the cold, not in the weather, but you know, the shop doesn't have any heat, and it's actually still good. So I guess you can buy one tube and get away with it. I bought a couple more just in case. And let's see, you gotta make sure we're lined up with the holes. It looks like we are. I'm gonna push this in there, and you'll see the method to my madness here in a minute. Because as the screw starts to pull it down, you'll see it. Because I put that curve on it, it should mush itself down all the way. Now I'm very careful to not get this adhesive on the screws because I'm afraid they won't ever come back out again, and I may need to service this at some point. So I do not want that to happen. And I don't think I'm lined up here. Nope, I'm not. So we're going to have to adjust this a little bit. And I broke my own rule and tightened up the screws beforehand. So let's kind of make a little adjustment here. Come on. There we go. Seeing is everything. And as I get older, seeing becomes more difficult. And it sucks. What can you do? It's not something I can do anything about. So we just deal with it. And then we just tighten her down. And see, I'm up a little bit right here. So what we do to cure that, I'll show you in a minute. As soon as I get these tightened down. See where we're up. We're not up anywhere over here. Well, we are right there. This could be a problem. So I'm running out of vice grips. I did the other wing already, and I got like 3-4 pairs of vice grips on it. So I was hoping this was going to be a little bit easier. We're not up there, we're not up there. We're up a little bit in that corner, and we're up on this edge. So, vicey grip. Now, if y'all buy a high quality wing, you don't have to do any of this. You can just put her together. We haven't even got to that part yet. So this part so far is if you buy a cheap wing like I did. And so if you want to save yourself some headache, by all means, spend the bucks. Or if you just have the bucks, why not? I would. But I like the idea of these $79 wings. That way, if I don't like them, I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, that's working, but it's still going to be up a little bit on these corners, and I don't like that. So So technically I think I want to smush it over on one corner first. And then I gotta find another vice grip to squish down that corner. This one I can use as a little vice grip. Little grip. Where have I heard that before? That's good there. Use this little one here. That one's actually not bad. I probably could get away with not even putting that. Actually, I don't think I need to put that. I think it looks like it's doing much of anything. I don't think this is going to get over here. It's not. So let me go get another vice grip. We got to pull this corner down. Just so you all know, this stuff has a 90-minute working time. In other words, you can squeeze it on there and let it hang out for an hour and 20 minutes, and she won't even start to get gummy. So you got a working time of 90 minutes to shuffle things around, get everything clamped in, do what you got to do. And that's good because you think about it, if you're doing a whole rear quarter or something, or a major panel on a car, you need that amount of time to get everything lined up where you want it clamped on. So it's got a 90-minute working time. That's pretty long, unlike most or like 5-minute epoxies and what have you. So you got 90 minutes. I was looking all over. I'm reading all the small print on the back, you know, and going, I can't find the dry time at all on this thing. Well, duh. It's because it's right here on the front in big letters. You know, they got to make it obvious so you can't find it. But it says it's got a 90-minute working time, and it's got a 4-hour clamp time. 4 hours. That means you got to keep the clamps on. I'll show you that in a minute. I got this thing looks like Frankenstein's brother. It's got clamps everywhere because some of it pulled down like I wanted it to, but I like them edges nice and tight, so I've got it all clamped up. And I still got a volcano going on in the corner there with the foam. Man, that stuff just doesn't want to dry. I guess you got to get some air to it, so maybe I should have drilled some holes in the bottom to let it escape and get some air going on there, make it cure better, but it's good enough. But, because if it's liquid, at least it's still strong in there, you know. And then let's see, 24-hour total cure time. That means it is 80,000 pounds in 24 hours. But clamp time, you can take the clamps off in, 4. So let's see, it is, some time in the afternoon. So, I don't know. It's maybe 2, 3-ish, maybe. I don't know. But I'll go look at the clock. Oh, wait. Do I have a cell phone? No, that'd be a no. I'm probably the only person in the world that doesn't carry a phone everywhere they go. I don't like phones. It's a tool. I don't carry my toolbox all with me everywhere I go, so why would I carry my phone, right? That's just me. But anyway, got all the clamps. I'll show you the clamps, and we'll go on. I promised y'all the Frankenstein wing. Well, there you go. Look at all the clamps on this thing. I ran out of vice grips, so I ended up going to C-clamps. I forgot I even had those. And there's the volcano, still erupting. That's a tiny little pinhole. And it just keeps oozing on out. It stopped oozing out the ends. That's the only place. And it did start to ooze out of this one just a tad. But I don't think that's going to happen anymore. She's down in there, but good. But I've got those plates on there, but good. This is nice and solid from the foam. And then these are going to make it, this is where it mounts, and so these will make it so that the other one started cracking in this area. In fact, I think, it's all covered up now, but you can watch the video on the BMW working on the wing, and you'll see it was all cracked up in this area here. And so that's why I'm doing this before this one cracks. And this epoxy is a lot stronger. This is 80,000 pounds. So I'm pretty sure this little plastic wing will disintegrate before this ever comes loose. But that's it. So we got the volcano, showed you that. I mean, and that turns to that over time. Looks like somebody pooped white poop all over my shop, doesn't it? Anyway, this stuff's kind of cool. I'll scoop it up and use it for packing when I ship stuff out. But we'll have to wait 4 hours later. We've got all this done. It's a good week later, and I've got a lot of the residue from the foam, and it's stuck, and it actually has melted into the product a little bit. So we're going to have to do some sanding, we're going to have to do a little bit of body work and some touch up on the painting. Kind of sad I had to do that. Hindsight being 2020, meaning you all, or me if I ever do another wing like this. Hindsight for you all is learn by my mistakes. If you're going to do the foam thing here, put some tape on there. I would drill a couple of holes in the bottom. There's already one over here for whatever reason, maybe an extrusion hole or something. But I would have put another one on this side, and I would have put maybe one or two in the middle. Reason being is it allows air inside this wing for the foam to expand to, and allows it to cure faster. But by putting those holes, you're going to get all volcanoes like you saw in the video so far. So my suggestion is you drill those holes, you spray the foam in, and then hang your wing like this so the foam will, drip out. That would only make sense. But definitely take some masking tape and mask off all the areas that you don't want to ruin, which means the entire front side. You could probably use paper because this foam won't go through paper. So just mask it off like you would a car. And if I had masked all this off of here and just drilled a couple of holes, or even if I didn't drill the holes, if I just masked it off, none of these scars, if you will, that the foam caused would be here. They would be on the tape and I'd peel it off and everybody's happy. Well, you get to learn by my mistakes. I got to pay the price. I'm going to be doing a little sanding and a little spray painting to get this back to looking good. But you don't have to do that. You will end up having to paint, these, unless you use black metal, but, I'm going to have to paint this. I don't have to, but I'm going to because it just looks mashugana. But, I don't know if mashugana is a real word or not. It's probably not. It might be. I don't know. But we are going to paint those to make it look nice. So I look at it as, well, I'm going to have to paint anyway. And that's what I tell myself anyway for screwing up. But please learn by my screw ups. Mask the whole thing off except for where you put the holes, or any holes that, or any place that you don't want this stuff to get. And I would put a couple, like I said, put a couple of holes for it to breathe and ooze through. And you'll be way better off than me. But anyway, here I go. I'm going to do some sanding. I'm going to do just like any other body work. I'm going to start off with some 80 grit, and I'm just going to hit the high areas. Then I'm going to go to a 150 grit just to get the scratches out. And then I'm going to go to a 220 grit to get those scratches out. And then I'm going to go to 400 grit. And because I'm not actually going to use any filler on this, I'm just using the actual plastic that it's made out of, I may even go to 600 just to get it a little bit smoother, just to make it look pretty. Now probably only the 400 on the bottom side because nobody sees that really. But on the top side I got a little touching up to do too. I'll probably go 600 on the top just in order to, make it look nice. Because I didn't go through all this so it would look like poop, right? Car's freshly painted. I want it to look decent. They all look decent at 100 miles an hour, but this car, I might have to park it every once in a while. So we're going to make it look as nice as we can. Not perfect, because then it won't fit, because the car is not perfect, but decent. Just so you know, this is the 400 grit. Now you just watched me. It didn't take long, did it? Now I just did that in real time. I should make that. I'll probably speed that up. But honestly, it probably took all of 5 minutes, maybe 10, to sand all that, get it ready. Now I'm on the 400 grit. 400 grit clogs up rather quickly. So I've got a little bucket of water. I'm just going to dip it in water and then sand. And that just keeps the sandpaper clear. And again, always do the crosshatch. And then I'm going to run my hand over it, make sure everything feels smooth. And like I said, I'm probably going to go ahead over this with 600 grit. Well, on the bottom side, probably not, but when I flip it over to the top side, I'm probably going to go with 600 grit. And since I'm speeding up the other one, I hope you enjoy the music. Like an nincompoop, I sprayed it without turning the camera on. I apologize. Basically, hold the can. I like so you can get it even because it's spray paint, right? It's not got a nice fan like you would on a regular spray gun. So you just kind of hold the can way up here, good 12 inches or so, and just got to go kind of slow, and then just try to overlay it. And that's kind of what I did. She looks fantastic, and I do apologize for not having the camera on when I did this, but as you can see, it's a nice even coat. Now we just let it dry. Before you go any further, before you watch the rest of this video, or actually before you, let me take two. Before you watch this video, keep in mind that I bought an El Cheapo wing. If you buy a quality wing, you won't need the first half of this video. You're only going to need the whole put it together, mock it up, put it on the car video. All of this beginning of this video is because I bought a cheapy wing that's hollow, and I bought one before and it cracked. And there's a video previous to this one ways back where I put these plates on here and stopped the cracking from happening. In this video, I went ahead and filled the wing with foam as well. The reason I did that was to stiffen it up so it wouldn't flex so much, you know? And it succeeded in not letting it flex as much, but honestly, you could probably have done away with the foam part. I like the idea because it seems so much more solid now. But you could almost do away with the foam as long as you put these plates on here. But you'll know what I'm talking about once you watch the video. But you're going to need these reinforcement plates or this thing will crack in no time and you'll be out your 80 bucks. If you buy a good quality wing that's good and solid, made out of a good quality product, you won't have to worry about any of this. So if you buy a good wing, and I've bought a good one, I've got one for another car, well, you'll have to wait for that video, but I've got a good one that I paid, several $100s for. These are $80 wings, $79, free shipping. So you're going to have to do a little work if you really want them to last at all. So if you're going to like me and you buy El Cheapo stuff, well, watch this whole video. If you bought a good one, then by all means, did I just say by all means twice? Yeah. Just skip to the middle of the video where I start assembling this thing, and that's where you'll need to start, because you won't need all this hoopla that I have to do to make this wing from a $80 wing to a $200 wing by adding all these things. And that's today. So now, tomorrow. Or should I go? Or should I go? Right? None of the above. Yep, now it's tomorrow. In case you don't notice, it's cold today. The whole coat and the hat, and yeah, no mittens, but it's not that cold, but it's a wee bit chilly out here, sure. But anyhow, up until this point, if you buy a quality product, and I think we talked about this a little bit on the brake booster, but again, you get what you pay for. If on my boosters video, if that booster only works for a month, I get it because it was cheap. So you get what you pay for. You get a good quality American product, yeah, you're gonna have a lot less headaches, theoretically. But in this case, I'm not a big wing fan, I guess. I like them. More of a scoop guy, but wings are cool too. And this is the generation, wings are in. And I bought cheap ones because, one, I got a cheaper rate if I bought two. 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 That's four, actually, but two. So I got a better deal. And I can't pass up a good deal on a performance-ish product. But I'm paying for that now because, you know, I've had to buy some foam. That's $4. Okay, that's not going to break the bank. And now I've had to do some paint because I didn't tape off the wing. So that cost me. Y'all can learn by that one. But if I taped off the wing, I wouldn't be doing all this, having to paint and sand and all that stuff. But I'm still into it way less than $100. And a good wing, I bought one for my Barracuda, which you won't see probably for a year or two. But that 72 Barracuda I showed you, 73, whatever, I bought a wing for it because it was on sale. And it's getting hard to get stuff now. I mean, there's a lot of places that are out of stock on everything. So I went ahead and just bought a bunch of stuff for that Barracuda because the price is just going up and up and up. I got an interior for it on back order, and I paid $284 for the seats, just the seat covers, I guess, technically, the vinyl for the seats or the leather or whatever it is. And now it's well up over $400. So I'm going, well, keep it on back order. I don't care. I'll wait till it, because I'm not going to touch the car for another year or two anyway. So I'm cool with that. But yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff that's still on back order. And that if I was in a hurry to get this car done, I'd have to be paying the bucks to get the stuff that's in stock. But I'm okay. I'll wait. But back to the wingage. You get what you pay for. So if you want a good, you can avoid all this whole first half of this video if you just buy quality stuff. But if you're like me and you buy the cheap stuff because you just don't have the money, right? I don't really have the money. I've got a wife and a kid and a shop and an addiction to cars, so I just don't have the money to spend on $200, $300, $400 wings. I did on the Barracuda, like I said, I was trying to save up some parts, and that's a car worth putting that kind of money into because it's, you know, a Barracuda. It's E-body Barracuda at that. So, you know, Mopars, I love Mopars. They are the one car, if you put $1 in, you get $1 back out if you sell it. Love Chevrolets too. I love Corvettes. But honestly, this C4, I'd be hard pressed to get my money back out of it when I'm done. I bought it cheap, and I keep putting cheap stuff back in it because I just don't want to spend a lot of money. But I'd be hard pressed to make $1 on this car. I like it, so I'm just going to drive it. But in reality, they don't have a lot of value. Now, my C3, I bought it when they didn't have a lot of value, and it's gone up now. So maybe the C4s will catch on at some point. Let's hope. Nonetheless, I just wanted to, all that, just to say, if you buy a quality product, you won't have to go through the first half of this video. You can just skip right to this part, okay? And if you'll notice, I think it was yesterday, it was warmer out, and I painted yesterday just because it was warmer yesterday. I knew it was going to be cold today. Helps to watch the weather, you know. And so I knew that the wing was going to be, too cold to paint it today. But now we're just going to put it together. So this basically, at this point, now, is how to put the wing together, how to put it on the car, and we'll see if we like it on the car. Now, once I get it mocked up, I'm going to have a look-see to see if I even like it. And it may not go on if I don't like the way it is. Now, when I did the one on the Beamer, I wasn't sure I liked it. I looked at it, I said, yeah, it's good. It doesn't make the car look goofy or anything. And I wasn't sure if I liked it. But now, I had to work on that one at the same time I did this one because it was messing up to reinforce it some more. And it looked stupid without it. So you just get kind of used to looking at it, I guess. But on this car, I'm still not 100% sure. I can buy the original style. I mentioned earlier, I think in this video, I mentioned earlier that I saw, nope, it was the last video. It was on the booster video, I think. On one of my videos, that I saw a red one with white stripes in my neighborhood just shortly after I painted this one, about 2 weeks after I painted this one. And he had a wing. Not this style. He had a regular stock style wing, one that's about, yay tall. It looked great though, and he had the stripes painted up over the wing, and it did. It looked good. That car was pretty. So now I got to get this one out there. Now everybody's gonna think, oh, I copied him, and maybe I never saw his car till the other day, but I like to be the first one. Dadgummit. But anyway,
we're going to put this one on, we're going to put it together, and see how she looks, and then you can put in the comments, you should have left it alone, or nope, I like it, very cool. But, you know, if you can't put a scoop on it, and this one's already got the little double hump, you know, cowl thing going on, so I'm not going to put a scoop on it. It might look cool with like one of those 427 Cobra Jet kind of scoops. I know that's a Ford, but those are cool scoops. But nonetheless, it's not getting a scoop. So the next best thing is just to wing it. That's what we're going to do. So here we go. Let's put this one together. I guess I'd like to say, you know, getting ready to do this, that on this channel, you'll find that I don't exactly always show my face. You're seeing like from here down, right? And the reason for that is the car is the star, right? It's nobody really wants to hear me talk, I wouldn't think. I mean, I watch videos and some of the talking's okay, but sometimes I ramble on. I tend to do that too. But really, the car is the star. People want to see, at least I think. When you guys could change, you can say it differently in the video. I mean, on the comments, you can tell me, no, man, we like to watch you because we think you're silly, or we like to watch you because you're funny, or we like to watch you because you're like the biggest idiot I've ever seen. You know, whatever. You know, let me know. But I'm thinking that, that can't be good. That means that I probably got some of that epoxy on the screw. There it goes. Not so bad. Whoop, well, I thought it moved. There it goes. Well, that just goes to prove that the epoxy is not an immovable force. What the heck? It's loosening, but it doesn't want to move. I hope I don't have to move that. We might just have to make everything work around that. Golly, Sergeant Carter. Oh, that's all the way up, so that's not, it's got to be stuck with the paint or something. Come on. Yeah. That's crazy, because both of the screws are up quite a bit. My guess is some of the epoxy must have, there we go. Woohoo! Finally. Golly, that was tough. So you got to be careful. That'll just tell you, you got to be careful not to get these too much goo on them, because they'll lock up on you. All right, okay. I'm gonna be honest. Getting kind of warm. I started working. Coat's got to come off. That's the good thing about working. Sometimes you start warming up. Although my hands are nice and cold. But whatever. Okay, we got these. Got them loose. The reason I've got them loose is because we may have to do a little adjusting on them to make them line up and stuff. We have little slots for that purpose. And we're going to get out the pedestals. And they're kind of cold. This is the area that goes through the trunk. Just one screw each. Kind of wish it was 2, because it'd be a little bit sturdy, even 4, you know. But I'm going to probably, I don't see any kind of a support plate under here. So if you look, it's just the screws and the pedestal. So I personally am going to make, because this is going on fiberglass and urethane. This one end is going to be on the bumper. The other end is going to be up in the fiberglass on the car. And I don't want all the force that's going to be on a wing, especially since I've reinforced this wing now. I don't want all that force pulling on that fiberglass, because it's bound to crack it. And we don't need any help getting this paint to come loose, because that's the problem this car had in the first place. That's why we painted it. And you've got to go way back to the fixing bubbling paint video if you want to see all that, because this car didn't always look this good. It was all cracked and bubbled and looked like boop. But anyhow, I'm going to make some support plates for this, sticky. And that way when I put her in, I'm glad it's only 1 bolt for ease of installation, but in reality it would have been better if it was 2 or 4, just because of support. But I'm going to go ahead and make some plates for this, and that will delay this process a little bit, but let's go ahead and get started on making some plates. Got a square piece of steel, and this is not going to have to be fancy, so I'm just going to cut it in 4s. I'm not even sure. I think this was for a roll cage. These were support plates for a roll cage. So much for that. But I probably wouldn't bolt in a roll cage anyway. I'd probably weld it in. So anyhow, we can always make more plates. And I think I used a bunch of these on another project too. So much for that. But I'm just gonna cut this in 4 pieces. That'll give me pieces just slightly larger than this. So they'll be a little bit bigger, and that's just fine. This is about an 1/8 inch plate. You might think that's overkill, but nope, I don't think so, because I want that bolt. If it was sheet metal, it might tend to flex and bend. This is not going to flex or bend. So I'm going to use a death wheel on it. I was going to use a plasma cutter. I actually had it set up on these little caps here so that I could just plasma cut it. And I said, well, now I got to run the cord, and this will be almost as fast and be a lot easier. So we're just going to go ahead and use the death wheel, get this done. Going to drill a hole right in the center of the block, and that's 1/4 inch. The stud was just a little under 1/4, so I'm going to just kind of eyeball it, try to get the closest to center as possible. Doesn't really matter. I did throw a little bit of paint on these. You might want to ask yourself, well, if it's 40 degrees out, how did you paint? When I ground the edges, and I'll show you that in a second as soon as I'm done drilling this hole. Let the drill do the work. Don't sit there and push on it. The drill will do the work for you. But if you look, you'll see that I ground the edges on it. And that's because you don't really want sharp edges. That could eventually wear its way into the piece. And then before we go any further, I'm just going to go ahead and check, make sure that the studs do go through that 1/4 inch hole. They should. I measured them, but you never know. And we'll finish up the rest of these. You might ask yourself how I painted these in 40-degree weather. Well, I ground the edges, and when I did so, the plate got hot. While the plate was hot, I went ahead and put some paint on it. Worked really well. So and I have a heat gun too. If you need to paint in cooler weather, you can heat your part up with the heat gun and then spray your paint, and it'll dry. Just a little FYI. And I should have safety glasses on here, but yeah, do as I say, not as I do. Wear safety glasses. If you leave these bolts sticking out the bottom, it's going to be really hard to mock this thing up. So we're going to have to take the gloves off of this because they're way too bulky. But basically, I'm just going to take these off. And this bolt will come out. It's a square-headed bolt, and the way it holds itself in is that it just won't spin inside of here. So that way it holds itself when you're trying to put it in. We're going to take it out momentarily. And also, you will notice that these have a little notch in it, and that little notch is so the head of the bolt will go up inside it. Okay? That's just a little FYI on that, but we have to take these bolts out of here so we can mock it up on the car. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting with trying to compensate for the bolt, nut and bolt that's on there. So we are going to put them right back on, though. You're supposed to get it in the hole, though. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. Just going to put everything finger tight. That way it'll stand up on its own. We'll get the wing mounted up to here, and then we'll be able to set it on the car, and we'll mock it up with a marker, and then we know where to put the hole based on, we'll just place this in there and mark the hole. Now that I've got my two perches with the nuts out of them, but they got a little rubber pad on here, so when we set it on the car to mock it up, we won't muck it up. They'll not mess up the paint, and also I think they're supposed to be there to help seal it so you don't, have leaks in your trunk if you put them in a trunk. Corvette, unfortunately, well, this one does kind of have a trunk, but they don't have trunks. So this one does have a hatchback, but we're not putting this in the glass, so we'll be okay. But we're just going to take these little doodads. That's a technical term for, I don't know what it's called. So we're going to take these doodads, and they just go here. And this is how we're going to mount the wing to the perch. And they have a bunch of washers. I'm assuming we're supposed to use them. I don't know if we have enough, but we're going to make believe we do. I know I need at least one. Well, actually I don't, because I've made those plates, so we don't need washers for the bottom of that. And we can't put washers inside of here, so we're going to assume, never do that of course, that they go here. And I don't really know why. And I noticed this on the last one, these holes, I don't know if it's because they powder coat them afterward or what, but they don't exactly slip fit, They tend to be, well, okay, these are making a liar out of me. So I guess they do slip fit. And I don't know, I never did put the washers, I wonder. Maybe put the washers on the inside? Nah, I don't think so. But it's going to be too short if I do that, so I don't know. I'm not going to use the washers. Don't need them. This plate is plenty thick. So I don't know what the washers are for. But I'm not going to use them, so it doesn't matter. There you go. And we put a nut. And then repeat. It starts getting fun at this point, because now I probably should have tightened those up, might have made life a little easier, but we're just gonna, can you see this? Yeah, I guess so. Gonna put one in here, put it through,
not. I like it when it starts to look like something, you know. That's always when it starts getting fun, when it starts to look like something. Now I put that one in backward. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I like to put the Allen head towards the outside, so that's kind of what you're seeing. I know it's probably stupid because it doesn't really matter, but that's kind of how I like to do things. And I broke my own rule because I put the other one in backwards because I was having too much fun. And I do that sometimes. You get a little excited, like, hey, look, it looks like something finally, you know. But I'm going to fix it, don't worry. And this is probably going to come apart 300 times before I'm done. Just because, probably not these though. I usually take the bottom ones out. Because we're going to set the perches in. And there we go. And the hard part is trying to kind of hold it the way you want it. And then try to tighten everything up, you know. This one will be easy because I'm just automatically going to want to put it in that way just because. Get that one caught. Whoops. This is definitely the rule of do not tighten everything until you get it together, or you will never get this thing together. It's starting to look like something, right? I mean, for a $79 piece of junk, it's starting to look like an actual halfway decent piece. It's a good looking piece. It's just the quality of it was not the best. But it's what you pay for. And had I had the money, or if I knew for a fact I was going to like this on the car, I've already done quite a bit of work for if I end up not liking it. But at least I can sell it, you know, because it's better than it was. I could actually get the same money back out of it or more because I've improved on it. But anyhow, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like. It's not going to stand up on its own. And I think on this one, I'm actually going to try to, you know, maybe stand her up a little bit, get her a little higher. Kind of liking it, right? We'll see. Now, I wish I could get it to stand up on its own. Well, maybe will it? Will it? Oh my goodness, it's standing up on its own. Kind of, sort of. Well, it's sort of standing on its own. I don't really understand why this one is nice and sturdy and steady and the other one's not, but this is exactly how I have it set up on the BMW. But I think I'm going to, we'll see. I may set it back further off the back of the Corvette just because I have the gas cap right here. Now I've got to be able to flip that up, and I don't want it hitting this. Well, actually, I think it flips up away from it, so I just need to be able to clear that. So I'm probably going to try to set it back a little. But we'll see when we get it over there, and we'll mock it up. In the meantime, I'm looking for the other parts that I'm supposed to put on this, but I'm not seeing them. So they're here somewhere. Okay, could somebody point them out for me? I got them. There's a little bit of worry going on just because I had these in here, if you will, to keep the volcano from happening. Stuff comes off a lot easier once it's dry. I got glasses on, but that's not working out well because they're fogging up because it's kind of chilly out here. Colder than my ex-wife's heart. Yeah, not quite that cold. I'd say it's probably about 40. Which is not horrible, but cold enough to say the wife's mad at you. How's that? Giving you that cold shoulder. But I got this heavy jacket on. I'm kind of starting to sweat a little. Fortunately, I don't need gloves. Normally I do wear them. If I was outside, I'd have them. Not that you care, but yesterday I was underneath a truck
we had to pull a 360 out of it. I got somebody that wants a 360 Mopar, and had a truck with a good one in it, and so I was out in the middle of a field pulling an engine out. And okay, you can be mad at me for not YouTubing it, but it was one of those things I had to get it out, get out of there. I only had limited time, so I wasn't able to take the time to film it. 99% of the time I do, but I even told the guy, I said I should have just towed this truck to my house and we could have pulled it there. But oh well. Now, I got a bunch of schmutz on these screws, so I'm going to use a new washer. This is a little bit dirty. I think I'm going to let it go. But got that cleaned up pretty good. This, well, I got a little bit. This is clean. Now let's switch them around. Yeah, I like that one better. Okay. Well, that one's got a big yucky on the inside too. So anyhow, to you all it probably looks like nothing, but I got a little bit of a blem here. I'll probably be able to get that off. Anyhow, screw, washer, and gonna have to put these glasses on because I can't see a thing. Screw hole. Didn't get a volcano, thank goodness. If you didn't watch the first half of the video, you might have to fast rewind, because when I first put the foam in this thing, it turned into a foam volcano. And that's what I'm talking about when I say turning into a volcano. Chances are you all watch the whole thing, because that's when the carnage happens. That's what's most interesting, right? It was scary. Like I said, I'm going to repeat it because, you know, repetition is the father of retention. Never heard that before, have you? But anyhow, if I had taped this off, you know, just put some paper over it, wrapped it in tape, so that when I got if I knew it was going to be a volcano, if I was going to do this again, which I probably will, I'm going to definitely wrap the parts I don't want to get stuff on, you know. So we're just going to give this a little snuggage. There we go. There we go. Kind of cool, right? Just going to do the other side, and then let's go see what it looks like on the car. Woohoo! Now is the time. Got my masking tape ready. I'll show you what that's for. And we're just going to take this wing. We're going to carefully set it where I think it's got to go. Ooh, she's got a pretty good scratch right in the middle. And then I'm just going to step back and look at it. I think I like it. Now we have to see, well, I'm actually going to set it back a little further because I've got her all the way forward so she'll stay balanced. I've got to see if I'm going to be able to open this door here. Here's the moment of truth. Now I'm probably going to set it back a little bit more, but I could put it here. It goes in, and it barely clears. Yeah, putting gas in, it's going to be a humdinger, but this, it works. It works. So let's just call it a win-win. I like the way it looks. Now, if you're not accustomed to a sliding square, if you will, or slide rule, whatever you want to call it, I just found a problem. Well, this is my antenna right here, and it's gonna just barely clear.
assuming I don't have to move this thing over at all. Ooh. Yeah, I think we're good. Now what I'm going to do with this is it's going to make it idiot proof. I've got the stripes, and I know those are in the middle because I measured those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to measure from the edge of the stripe to the edge of the perch for the wing, and I'm going to lock it down, and then I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to check it and see if they're the same. And if they are, I'm going to put a piece of tape where the perch is so that I know where to put the perch back. So here we go. Ready? And I got to be careful because obviously that's pretty good right there. And I've got it slightly come this way. That looks good. And now that one's in. I went too far. Let's do it this way. Make it a little smaller. We're going to move it just a hair. There we go. That looks good. I'd say that's pretty close for government work anyway now. So that's in the center there. So while I've got that there, I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape. Uh-oh, that could have gone into the abyss. Take a piece of masking tape, and I'm going to put it alongside that perch. Alrighty, just like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Of course, it don't show up on the white so good. I should have used different color tape. Then I'm going to do the same on this side. Now, it's not rocket science. If I am off even, probably up to 1/8 of an inch, it's probably not going to be super noticeable. But with these stripes, it is going to kind of show where center is, and we're definitely going to need to keep that. And then front to back is going to be the most important. I'm amazed when I lifted the gas cover there. It looked pretty darn straight. I just set this on here, and I got to give myself a patty on the back because it's almost perfect where it's at. But right now, I'm going to set this up against fact. What I'm going to do, just to protect the paint, is I'm going to put a piece of tape along the back here, just to protect it. There we go. And that way, my slide rule / adjustable square isn't going to do any damage to my paint job. There we go. Because we worked hard on this paint, did we not? If you didn't watch that video, shame on you. You should have watched that video. It's a good one, I think. I mean, paint jobs are so satisfying because when you're done, unless you screw it up, it's just happy. It's like eye candy, you know? You can fix an engine all day long and it sounds great when it first starts and first burnout's awesome, but man, nothing like a fresh paint job to give you that satisfaction. Alright, so we're going to the slide rules right up against it. Alright, I'm a little off, but not by much. I was off by about that much. I don't even know if you can see that. That much. It's very, very little. Maybe 1/8 of an inch at the most. So now we're here. Here. Okay. Now we take our tape again and we do the back. So we know where to put it.
You don't have to do the front, and it would be difficult because of the doodah. That's another technical term for I don't know what to call it. And that is because you've already got the back and the sides, so if you put the back where it's supposed to be, it should be good, right? Now, let's see. We're going to get this front one. That one's up in the air, so that's a wee bit of a sticky wicket. This one is not, though. This one, she's sitting good. So we're going to try to get in here with that one. And that one I'm going to have to try to push down, and this is a little tricky. The thing with this is if I get the back one in, the front one should automatically go. But what we're going to have to do, and you'll see, that's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to have to take the wing apart, like I explained. Okay, that's all good. Now this one, let me get my tape ready. Because it's up in the air a little bit, you see it? I've got to kind of pull it down. There we go. Do it one-handed. There we go. And it's not super straight because my tape's off on this end a little bit. So let's do this. There we go. Alrighty. Last but not least, we could stop there, but I'm gonna be sure. And there we go. Make sure everything's looking good. It is. Alright. I'll show you why I'm doing all that and why we have to mark where these are going, because we got to drill holes, and you only want to drill once. Now, like I said, I'm going to probably set this back or even up, so I've got room to do a lot of that. There's some adjustment to this wing, and we'll do all that once we get it mounted. But right now, I'm going to see where our holes are. So I'm going to take this back apart, take these feet off. Now I'm going to mark them front and rear, because the bolts inside are in different places. So I'm going to get a paint marker, or a chalk line, I guess I should say, and I'm going to mark this where those go. I'll show you that in a minute. Now if we look at these feet, we can see that the hole is here. So the holes are got to be opposite one another. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little mark right here, and another one right here, and do the same on the other side, because what that's telling me is that the holes, oh, wait a minute, this one's wrong. Woo! I almost messed up, folks. I almost messed up. Yep, I almost messed up. This one needs to be here. Phew, you got that notch. And that's what I'm trying to show you right here. I don't know if the camera, maybe I should zoom it in a little bit. Right here, this little notch has to line up with this bolt, this little hole here. So I almost, thank God I noticed it. This one has to go here. Now I'm not going to go ahead and put it all back in because there's no need. So I'm taking it off anyway, but I'm going to put my mark. And then my mark, and then I'm going to double check. Make sure this notch is supposed to, oh geez, losing the screws. Yep, it's on the back side. So they have to be opposite. Oh. You know, when you get old and fat, guy's belly gets in the way when he bends over. Jeez, I got to lose this old belly of mine. Okay. That's not your concern by any means. My wife just cooks too good. But basically, just to remember, they go opposite one another. Holes up, holes back. So when I put it on, they just got to be opposite each other and we should be good. Do these over here. Double check my work. Yep, in the back. It should be the same, but you never know. There we go. So again, they have to be opposite. And then we'll be good. So now, when we go put them on the car, we know we got to have them like this. Okay? We take our stanchions, whatever you want to call them. Going to line them up where they're supposed to go. Now, mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the scariest part of all? That'd be this. I'm about to transfer punch this hole into my new paint job. Yeah, and this is fiberglass, and this is rubber. I'm not sure how transfer punches are going to work on those particular materials. So I am going to stick it in the hole here, give it a little tap. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, made a little divot, just enough. I'm going to take this one, do the same thing. That one felt a little goofy, but it made a mark because it just bounced because it's rubber, right? And you'll notice I'm leaving the little foot with the area that I made the mark. So the reason I'm doing that is in case they're off a little bit each, I'm going to put each one back in the same spot. God, I don't like that sound. Ooh. I guess that one's there, but it didn't make a very good one. Let's try it again. Oh, that one's bigger. Alright. And it went exactly the same spot. That makes me happy. And last but not least, we have this one. This one's, it might just be my deck here, but it's going to pull the deck straight, that's for sure. Should have used a different color tape, honestly, because it's hard to see that line. Phew, that one's ugly, but it's where it needs to be. Alright, so there you go, transfer punches. If you don't have one of these, you can always use a piece of dowel and just sharpen one end of it, or worst comes to worst, you can make a mark with a marker or a Sharpie or a pencil or whatever. Just make a mark and then you know where to go. With this, it actually gives the drill a little pilot so it goes where you want it to go. Now, I'm going to use what they call a center drill. A center drill is a very short drill that will mark my hole, and that way my drill doesn't walk, because I don't want it to walk at all. So I'll show you what that means. I lied about the center drill. I started thinking about it, and yep, that would probably be the best way to go. But a lot of you don't have center drills. Center drills are kind of a machine shop thing, and most of you do have the old Harbor Freight step drill. So I'm going to use that and hope it doesn't bite me in the butt. You can use the correct size drill, but then I would recommend a center drill because these are self-centering, if you will. A regular drill will walk, but you're going to need to put a rubber hose on a regular drill so when it bottoms out, goes through, that you don't want the drill to hit and scuff up your paint. Even though a lot of it's going to be covered, we still want to keep it nice and painted underneath. What I didn't show you all, which I guess I'll show you before I get started, is before I did any of this, I stuck my hand in here to see if I'm going to take my coat off, but see if I get my hand in there to put the back on these and get the screw on there. And I can't. I'm not with this coat on. I'm going to have to take it off. So it'll be a little cold for me, but I can deal with it for a short time. But I'm going to go ahead and use a step drill because a step drill is only going to go so far because it's got to go to the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Normally, if I had two different color tapes, which I don't, I would have put tape here as well. And that way I'm drilling through tape and I don't booger up my paint job. But I don't have that luxury because I only had one color tape. So hindsight for you all, if you're watching this and you're getting ready to take this project on, get two different color tapes. And that way you can put a piece of tape in the middle where you make your mark, and everything will be a lot better if you're not dealing with fiberglass. Does drill rather easy. Now I'm going to stop there and I'm going to go get one of the screws and see just how big I need to make this. Just a hair shy. So let me move this. I just put those there to double check. But I'm just here. It kind of goes in, but not quite. I don't think I'm actually all the way through the fiberglass. So what I'm going to do, yeah, I'm not. That hole's big enough though. And I'm not all the way through the fiberglass. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these other ones started. And then I'm going to get a regular drill. Since I'm already started here, I'm going to get a regular drill with the rubber hose like I explained and finish these off. Because if I start going deep enough to go through, I'm going to be too big on the drill because it's a step drill. So I'm just going to get all these started with a step drill, and then I'm going to go ahead and get a regular size drill. Okay, now I'm just going to go find a drill that's this size, which we do have one ready, remember, because we used it to drill the plates for the underside. So we'll just use that same drill for the top side. Here's the rubber hose I was telling you about. You just put a rubber hose on the drill. Put your drill in there. That way, when you get down to the bottom, it hits the hose and not your drill. Uh-oh. Oh, geez. I am not through over there. I've hit something behind here. I'm wondering, I'm going to have to take my coat off because I'm not going to be able to get in there. But I'm not through. I can't. I'm going to get a light, see if I can see light, but there's something behind this. Maybe a metal plate, which would be great. Then I wouldn't need the... Yeah, there's a There's a support back there, a double support, which means I'm probably going to have to put a longer screw. But yep, oh, that's just yay. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and drill through it, because I was just making sure it wasn't the gas tank, you know. Yeah, that's got the same thing. Oh, and it's right on the corner. That's just awesome. Nope, it's not. We're going to have to shorten my hose here. These are the unforeseen obstacles. Welcome to the world of hot rodding. I'm going to see just how much I may or may not. This one has a metal plate in there, so I may be able to just sock this one up with no worries. But we'll see if it's even going to be long enough. I may have to manufacture, make, do something. Now see these? Again, I may have to, it's going to be fun trying to get a wrench of some sort in there to tighten this. But there she is in all her glory. And it's not long enough because it's not even coming out. Nope. So that's not going to work. So I'm either going to have to go to the hardware store, try to find something around that size, and I can always cut the head down if I have to. But it's got to be quite a bit longer. So I'm going to go hunting for a bolt, and two actually. Now let me go ahead and test this one. Come on, girl. Just being a little stubborn. There it goes. Ready-made hammer. Alright. Now I don't think I can get my hand with my coat. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that one has plenty. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the plate on there. I think, yeah, maybe. This is going to be the fun part. Is trying to hold the plate and put a nut on at the same time. Ha ha! Fun, fun, fun. Let's see if I come up with some super slick idea. Because I don't know if I drop it, if I'm going to be able to retrieve it at all. I don't know. All it does, it just falls out. Because it's just, yeah. I might be able to get it. It falls out into the bumper. So let me see. According to this, I do have enough room. Should I tape this on there, you think? Or should I just try to wing it? Let's see how hard it is to get the plate on there for starters, and then we'll go from there. I think maybe I'm hitting something. Maybe. Seems to be hitting something in one corner. Let's see. Seems to be hitting something right about here. So maybe we'll have to shorten this plate up a little bit. Because it does, I don't know. We'll try it. Attempt number one. I get my hand in there pretty good. I'm going to put a piece of tape over this, and when I push it through the stud, I'm hoping the tape will hang on it enough to where it'll hold this plate in place till I get the nut on.
Let's see what happens. The wonderful world of hot rods. Of course, you're completely blind in here. There it goes. Will it hold it? Well, maybe. It's in there, so we're going to try it. Although my fingers were a little cold. But we're going to go ahead and... I hope this isn't too terribly boring. Well, actually, all the tricks are done, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this nut on there. I'm going to shut the camera off. There's no sense in you watching me just sit there with my arm inside the hole. So I've got the plates holding there with a piece of tape. That worked rather well. And I'm just going to put the nut on there, and then we'll proceed to the next hole. I showed you the tape trick already. I'm going to show you another tape trick. And what I did is I looped the tape so that it's sticky. It's this way because the last one fell off and I had to go fishing for it down inside the bumper. So I looped the tape so that the sticky is on the outside, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and that should hope hold, because this one's in a really bad spot for me to get to, and so I'm going to try to get the sticky on there, and I also don't have another plate to hold that down in, but we'll get her done. But just put this on the bolt, this will stick to the bottom of the car, and then we can get a nut on there. So that I make sure these stay straight when I tighten everything up, I'm just going to put the stanchion in there, just loosely, and then when I tighten up these screws, I'll be in line. Now that I've got these all mounted, ready to go, I can go ahead and put this section back together on the car. This is just a little rubber drain in case you spill fuel when you're pumping. It just kind of stuffs itself in here. Well, it's supposed to just stuff itself in here. This one's kind of cracked a little bit. And, ow, pinch the fingers. That means everything's going to go well. There we go. And, but because it's just basically a drain, I wasn't too worried about it being cracked. Nobody sees it. You can buy a new one, I think for about 12 bucks. It's not very expensive, or maybe 25, I don't know. But I'm just going to use the old one. Put the gas cap back on there. Okay, that's the hardest thing so far. Alright, phew, okay. These are mounted nice and tight. I've got this one just sitting here, but they're not going anywhere. And this one was a humdinger because I got a really long piece, and it was a humdinger. Nonetheless, we're good to go. I'm going to get this put in, and we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the wing on, and whoo, we'll be done. Just set that in there. It's got a little screw holder right there. Now one of these, if I remember right, is a extra long one because it didn't want to cooperate. And that wasn't it, because that one just tightened up. I think it was this back corner, if I'm not mistaken. So it's only 4 little screws that hold it on there. My fingers are getting kind of cold, so they're not working as good as they could. Those are good. Let's see if we can get this one in. Yeah, I think this is the one. It feels a little sloppy, but it's going in though. There we go. That feels good. So there we go. Back in beeswax. Got some crud on it. It wasn't there before.
Probably spider poop is my guess. Hate spider poop. Alright, so we got this. Go get the other one. We're going to get those locked in. And then we're going to go ahead and... Boy, I made a mess. Then we're going to start adjusting the wing. The hard part's going to be those things that slide on the wing. We have to somehow... I got a little stubby screwdriver, but the bolts get in the way. So we're going to have to kind of slide a bolt out, tighten it up. Just one side so that it won't move, and then we can snug them up. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, I'm doing this a little bit cattywampus because got one side attached. I'm just going to go ahead and slide this in here to hold it so it doesn't move around on me. Come on, baby. Of course, it doesn't want to go. Why is it being that way? There, we got that one in. That's good enough for me. Not really sure why that one doesn't want to go in. But we'll go. Let me get this one set up. Get a screw in here. See, once you get everything lined up and tightened up, sometimes things don't go as planned. So, I'm missing a couple of screws. Let me go find them. Once you get it in position, you have to take one of these screws off. And you're going to have to get at least one of these screws. You have to get at it. So you just got to kind of push these semi out of the way. And then you just got to tighten this up. Oops. There we go. So that it doesn't move. And then we'll have to take this off of here. I love the fact that it gives me a little cubby to put all my nuts and bolts. Again, we'll just push these back. Tighten this up. And then we have to very carefully lift this, and then I'll go tighten those with a little bit more torque. So we're just going to kind of gently pull these out. Here's the fun part. Is you're by yourself. You're gonna have to try to get a bolt. Get it in here.
side and do the same. I like my hat. It's nice and warm. There we go. Ooh, that one almost came out. Yeah, this is a little challenging if you're by yourself. If you have help, you know, somebody can hold the wing while you do all this, but it's doable by yourself, as you can see. And once you get everything where you want it, you can set your pitch like this. I'm going to set this wing back a ways, probably right about there. That's where I'm going to put it. So, get my trusty wrench and let's get to tightening. I snugged up the two front ones down here on the bottom so that this will move on its own and it'll still hold itself. And then I've got to determine the angle that I want to put this at. So what I'm going to do is, since the slide is here, I'm going to put my Allen wrench here. I'm going to take my ratchet and put it here, and then I'm going to simply put the scoop where I want it. And snug it up. Do the same with the other side. And then that'll be that. Once you got the pitch set, you're just going to kind of run through it and tighten them all up. That one's already tight. And that's the benefits to putting all of them the same direction too. You just gotta not have to keep switching hands. And that's that. That is one wing mounted. And the way I've got her mounted in there with them big plates, the back of this car will come off before this wing will. And I think once we put all these supports on here and everything, I think we're gold. I probably look like the wreck of the Hespa. Had a hat on all day, you know. You probably saw a little bit of that as we put the wing on. But there she is. She's on. She's a little dirty. We're going to have to clean that up. And I lost one bolt. So I'm going to have to clean the shop. They probably need to do that anyway to try to find it. Otherwise, we'll have to try to get another one. I had it before, so it's here somewhere. Just in moving stuff around, I seem to have lost it. So we're not ready to take a ride just yet. Besides, it's getting late, it's dark out. I need to pack it in for the night. It's Sunday night. And I have work in the morning. 4:30 comes early. But there she is. That's the wing. And I don't know, I like it. I'll probably have to, it's going to be hard to get a good picture of this thing just because it's stuck in the shop right now. I'm going to try really hard to get a good thumbnail for this video. But everything's stuffed in the garage at the moment. And I'm just not able to get out. So maybe I'll just do a close-up for the foot. I don't know, we'll do something. But anyway, there she is. This is the finishing touches of this car. For those of you that are anxious to see the Gremlin, stay tuned, because the only, as of right now, the only other video on this car, for now, is I've got to get the tint off this back window. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's going to be a short video. I'm just going to show you the basics, get it going, start peeling it. Probably fast forward it from there. It probably won't be a 5 or 10 minute video, so I might just kind of squeeze it in between the other ones just so y'all can see how. Other than that, we're done with this car. We're gonna drive it. You know, woohoo! Drive this thing. I like the wing. Do me a favor, throw in the comments whether you like it or not. I'm gonna try my best to take a good solid picture of it. But that's kind of it. I don't know. Want me to get out the way, and that way you can kind of see how it looks on the back there. I think it's pretty sharp. I'll try to get a picture. This shop's a mess, but I'm going to try to get a picture for the thumbnail, kind of let you see exactly how it looks. I was able to get it far enough back where the antenna should go up. Well, let me check on that right now. Oh yeah, but it is going to be so close. I might have to watch that when I actually turn it on, because the antenna goes up when I turn the radio on. That antenna goes up, so it is like so. If the antenna whips at all, it's probably going to hit the wing. I may have to. I think she's pretty far back. I could probably get it to go just a little bit more further back, but it's actually this piece that might be hitting. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If I have to, I'll move the antenna. It's doable. Or I'll cut a notch in the wing, whatever it takes to make it happen. Or maybe buy one of them shorty antennas, get rid of the electric one. But either way, we'll get her done. And but that's it. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I think my mouth is frozen. It's kind of cold out here. Stay tuned for getting old tint off your windows without messing up the little lines for the defrost. And other than that, it's Gremlin time. And I hate to disappoint you all. I do have to put an injector in the Cadillac. So you saw the video on the plugs. She's still misfiring. I'm trying to just put some Berryman in there and some fuel injection cleaner and try to clean it out, but it's not working. So I'm going to have to put the injector in. So that may be another video. Hopefully not before the Gremlin, but maybe. We'll see. But otherwise, that's it. Do me a favor. Please subscribe. If you like the video, go ahead and mash on the like button. You know, it makes me feel good. If you don't like the video, don't really understand why you watched the whole thing, but if you liked it, mash on that. But if you don't like it, feel free to put it in the comments like, yep, it sucked for whatever reason. But let me know why. Maybe I can fix the why. If I'm the reason why, well, you're screwed. That's the way it is. Just don't watch next time. But nonetheless, love you subscribers. Got a couple of guys out there that are always making comments. Right on, guys. I appreciate that. I really enjoy reading your comments. I do. Hopefully I do get so big that I can't respond to all of the comments, but as of right now, I'm pretty small. So I do my best to try to respond to your comments if they need a response, of course. So I do appreciate it. If you need a response from me, I'll do my best to read them all. So far, so good because I'm still small enough where I have time to watch them all. Now, if I have 1 million subscribers, that might take a month or two to get there. Yeah, I might miss a few, but for right now, I'm doing my best to answer everybody as much as I possibly can. Contact info, if you need it, will be in the, I don't know, what do you call that? The write-up on the whole video thing. You scroll down and there's all the whole write-up under there. Or you click on it. I don't really know how to work that, but you can look in my descriptions and you'll see my contact information. So if you want to buy parts from the the parts place we have here, or if you just want to contact me directly, try to fix something for me, whatever. If you need to contact me, that information is there. Nonetheless, please subscribe. Gotta go. It's freezing cold out here. I hope you like this video.